I'm back on the trailer today. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of this wiring. Some of it I think maybe can be patched up. Might have to change out a lot of fittings, but the wire still looks pretty good. Save me from running a little bit. The brunt of it, I'm gonna have to run all new. Most of it's gone or cut out, or I don't know what happened to it, but we'll patch it in and run all new for the brakes and for the tail lights, and then I'll kind of tie into it maybe for the running lights and stuff. So we can get some of this put together and hopefully have this thing wired up soon. I wired my, well, I didn't wire it up. I mounted my junction box and my battery, my breakaway controller box right here in the tongue. So under here they have some square tubing run for the wiring. It goes back through. So it ends up here, way up here in the end. I don't want my wires coming out here and then zigzagging back all the way to here, so we'll cut this off. So my wires will come out right here and I can just run them down and under and up into this box. Let's get that cut off of there. Cut us a hole in it. Hopefully I can get the wires passed through there, and I'll clean some of that up so it hopefully ain't sharp cutting my wires. See if we can get some of these wires run down, mount my box back up. I don't know how long it's been since wire was passed through this tube, but apparently it's been a while because it's pretty gunked up. I mean, I've sat and gouged in here about a foot before I even started recording, and it still ain't going. I was hoping to pass wire through it, but I don't know. And you can see that's about a foot and a half now back in there, and it's still hitting pretty solid. Alright, so going a little easier. Alright. Wow. We're getting somewhere. Let's try from the other end to see if there's anything, because this, it ain't even reaching halfway, I don't think. We'll see. Yeah, no problem from this end. So we actually got some baling wire to pass through. See if we can't get our wire through it now. So hopefully that's good. Let's see if we can pull this through here. Okay, so we got it as far as right here. Got all that to go. Let's see if we can get it pulled through that one. That's the one I'm worried about because it had so much dirt and gunk in it. So let's give it a shot. Well, we made it without our hot wire for our brake, so let's back it back up, tape it, and see if we can't get it to come along with us too. I thought I had it in there good enough, but apparently not. Well, maybe I can push it through. Let's see. Oh yeah. There we go. Almost made it. See, let's get these wires run to that big red. That's a 10 gauge. It's going to go to the brakes, and I'll run a ground off of the brakes as well and ground it to the frame real good. I'll pull this wire all the way back for the tail lights and the brake lights and the marker lights. So let's get that done. Wiring up the brakes. Gotta find the right terminal end. I think that might be the one. So it's going to go on this bolt. So I need a piece of heat shrink that'll fit over that one, and that's the one. So that'll work. Well, that's crimped up good. Now that should be a good connection when I heat shrink that. A little too windy to be using a lighter, but that's all I got out here. There we go. Beautiful. Good. So I went ahead and jumped back here to the tail lights. I'll try to swap these out or see if we can't fix them. I hate to reuse them, but that's an odd style. I'll have to fix this by putting in a plate or something other and swapping out to a different style light, or maybe bolting something on, but that don't look as good. Looks like the same person that wired my dump truck tail lights wired this thing up. All kinds of wires hanging. But I'm gonna get these out and see if we can't come up with a better solution here. So these are the tail lights, which, like I say, I've never seen this style before, but they'll probably still work. Well, we'll try them out and see, but I don't know how to change the bulb. So are these LED? See what we can figure out here. We'll test them out. And there's at least one soldered connection. Let's see if we can't save these plugs. See what's up with these lights. I can't see through the cover to tell. They feel awful light, and there's no way to change the bulb from the back. Can't see that the lens pops off anywhere. So I'm betting these are LED, maybe. Let's hook them up, see if they work, see what they are. Alright, so white's ground. This is the tail lights, the black, red's the stop. I don't know if I can hold it still. Okay, so the stop is bright. Really, really bright. So that one works. Let's check this one out. I don't think her pigtail's barely long enough here. Let's see. Yep. Okay. The tail light works. That one works. Well, I guess we'll just reuse those. Get the other side off and test it out. Now we're checking the ones out on the other side now. One of them's missing a wiring harness. That one works. That one works too. So we'll have to make us a harness for this side. I've got some of these little fittings. We'll just plug them in individual. I guess it'll be alright. Well, let's get that done. Well, it may not ever work right, but at least it looks kind of pretty. I wanted it to be a little neat anyway. Hopefully that'll work. Give me enough room for the breakaway box. Now let's get some of these wires skimped back and terminal ends on them. I spend more time than anything looking for the ends, and here's why. They're all just dumped in this box. I know I should organize this eventually, but I just can't never make myself do it. There we go. I believe that's the one I want. Yep. Don't leave you much room to wire in this box. We'll make it work though. I didn't put anything on these. I think they'll be fine in this box. At least I hope they will. I guess all we have to do is match up the color now. Probably help if I had the right size socket. That's the one I grabbed, it was closest. Now, don't look too bad. Get all this junk out of the way, we'll mount that ground wire. And we'll move on to the back wire on in the tail lights and the turn signals, marker lights, and the brakes. So we getting there. So I had to take this back loose. I'd forgot to run my breakaway switch wire, so I run it through. It's got some more conduit in here. I put it into this wire loom, which is about too small for it, but I'll be able to work. I'm gonna throw some zip ties on it. Should be okay. Alright, so I finished up my wiring, I believe, up here on the front. I'm sure I'll probably have to revisit something, usually the way it goes. But got my breakaway battery box wired in. The breakaway switch, I forgot to wire it up, so I had to rerun the wire through this harness, but it's run now and spliced in the way it should be. So let's move on to the back lights and finish wiring up the brakes, and it should be done to test out and make sure all the wiring works. Then I'll slap a paint of coat on it. Well, that don't sound right. A coat of paint on it, and finish sawing up the deck and put it on, and this thing will be ready. Not the bearing it was. Back on the trailer brakes now. Got the tail lights still to wire up, but I don't know, I'm just jumping around now. So we'll get this hooked all up, hopefully working good. Now we'll get us a ground wire made up for that. So this backing plate is plastic, and the studs are bolted into it for the wiring. Well, one of them broke out, so I'm gonna re-drill a new hole and remount that, so I'll have a place to attach my wires to. There we go. Now it's ready. Now I know my wiring's usually pretty bad, but I don't know who all has cobbled on this thing, what all they've done, but it's been quite a mess. Let's get this fixed. I got the wiring done for the brakes, all tied in. I know it's not as professional looking as some would like, but I believe it'll serve me just fine. Hopefully the wiring's good inside the hubs. I looked at it, looked okay, so I left it be, but I believe it'll be okay. Excited to try these out. Hopefully I'll get to that next week, maybe. Ain't got time to do it today. I'll be going to work for about a week, so it's as far as I can make it right now. Still got to tie in the tail lights and stuff. I got a little jump on that. I mounted the that little center brake light and pulled some of the old wiring out as far as I made it back there. We'll get on that soon.